All right. Okay, so we're setting up. All right, now we're live on Facebook. So good evening, Sir Lee J and Mr. M.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Hi, good day everyone, and we're live once again here at Ielts Filipino Nurses, and we're lucky to have another review session with
Sir Lee.
WER or World English Review Center, led by Sir Lee J. Jesus,
All right,
Miss
so
Gladys.
let's start.
Yes, good evening. I'm here again. Salamat di kayo nagsasawa. Okay. Um, can I just take a survey? Who of our attendees were, also attended the last time? I think it was last week. I had a class on writing task two. So can we just get, an idea? Just maybe raise your hand or say me. Yung mga nasa Facebook din po. So our admins can monitor. Para lang may idea ko how to handle this. Because I would like to adjust to my class kasi. Uh-huh. Okay, let's wait for some of the responses. Okay, Russ was here last week. Hello po, Sir Russ. Mhm. Okay, so mga bago. All right. So let me just tell you what to expect. No, if you attended last week's session, I approach it more theoretically. So what I did was I told the attendees about the format. Okay, and then we discussed the grading system in detail because one of the best things you can do when you're taking a test, any test, not just the IELTS test, is alamin nyo kung paano kayo gine-gradean. Make sure that you know how you are graded so that you'll also know your strengths and then you can work on your weaknesses. In fact, okay, if you're already working with a review center or with a teacher, make sure that they're not just telling you that your essay is a 6, it's a 6.5, it's a 7. They need to give you individual scores. So what's your score in grammar? Is it 5, 6, 7, 8? Okay, how about in vocabulary? How about in coherence and cohesion? Pag mababa ang score mo sa coherence and cohesion, then it means that you need to be more organized. Maybe you need to take more time preparing your essay instead of writing it. Or what's worse, your weakest area might be task response, and that's the absolute worst. Why? Because all the other scores might be affected if you get, an unsatisfactory rating in task achievement. So make sure that, if you're already working with tutors, they know how to grade these individually because that's what you should be paying for. Ayun yun ng teacher na nanguhula lang. No? I've met a few. Okay. So to officially start, okay, sorry. So that's what we did. Last session, we also had time to work on, I think, was it one topic or two topics? Medyo nakalimutan ko na. One topic lang ba yun, admins? Sorry, naalala nyo ba? Or was it two?
Parang two po.
Mm.
Parang two.
Two topics, but I wasn't able to write an essay, no? Ano lang, pre-writing
Opo.
stage lang. So, vocabulary
Yes.
development plus outlining. So, para lang hindi repetitive because I hate boring lectures. I don't like repeating stuff. So, ang gagawin ko today, okay, I will reduce the theoretical aspect and we will, you know, make it more practical how to do this by actually coming up with essays tonight. So, for those people who have topics, I didn't prepare any topic. Kasi ganun ako. Okay? Because I want the topic to come from the audience. So, while you have time, sasabihin ko na ng maaga so you have time to search. Okay? Um, you can submit which topics you want us to write tonight. Maybe we'll have enough time to produce two. If we're lucky, maybe three essays. But the topic will come from the audience. Maybe you can post it on the comments box, and then if you like the other person's question, you can upvote or you can like, and then the admins sila na yung pipila. They will send me the questions. Tapos let's try to work on as many as we can. I don't mind, topics that you find hard, walang problema as long as they are IELTS topics. Okay, because sometimes People have submitted topics to me that will never be asked in the IELTS. Okay, for instance, they will not ask you about religion. Bawal po. Speaking, writing, no religion, no politics. So they will never ask you in the IELTS test, what is your opinion about the performance of the current administration? What is your opinion about the death of the president? Wala pong ganun. Bawal. They have to be apolitical. Bawal po yun because they're an international organization and they cannot do that. And they cannot ask you about your personal finances, okay, about your romantic relationships, relationship with family, lahat po yan bawal sa IELTS. Okay, so submit your questions for writing task 2 and I'll try to do as many as I can tonight. Okay, medyo mabilis naman tayo magsulat. So let me share my screen so that I can formally start. I'd like to share a presentation first. Don't worry, this will be quick. Okay, oops, sorry. Let me do this another way para mas maganda. Okay, where is that? Here you go. I think this is nicer. And let me record this session. Right. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our free IELTS lecture. I am Lee from World English Reviews. Okay, I am CELTA certified. Okay, we have band 9 educators, and tonight's topic is IELTS essay writing, or as most people know, IELTS writing task 2. Okay, and yeah, let me read some of the rules. So please don't be afraid, don't be shy. Type your questions in the chat box or in the comment box or in the Q&A box. Okay, and you can ask all the questions that you want. Okay, and we will try to answer all of your questions tonight. Next, enjoy the seminar and don't hesitate to ask questions. It's free. Your host is an expert on the subject, and if you're interested about having more intensive reviews with me and my company, we will be providing you information about that. Okay, okay. Your speaker for today is not Barry. Okay, he speaks I think every Tuesday for this group, so you can attend him on Tuesday. Your host today. Okay, let me talk about Barry first, since his picture is already there. So Barry started teaching in 2016. Prior to this, he was a lawyer for 15 years in London. He actually had his own law firm there. It was a medium-sized company. He had over 10 employees, I think, but he decided to shift careers. If you want to know why, ask him on Tuesday. Okay, ask him for his story. He's our specialist trainer for both general training and academic IELTS. Also teaches general English and business English, of course. He has an overall band score of 9. He's British, okay? And he has a Cambridge CELTA certification, also a master diploma in TESOL, teaching English to speakers of other languages. Barry, on Tuesday. And tonight, okay, fortunately or unfortunately, it's up to you. Your speaker is moi, yours truly. My name is Lee J. De Jesus. I started teaching in 2005, sorry. So it's been almost 16 years by August. Malapit na. I teach IELTS, OET. I teach English subjects. I also teach civil service exam preparation. I've trained people, newly hired employees for call center language training. And soon, in a few weeks, I'll be teaching CELPIP and KL, okay, Canadian English test. My overall IELTS score is 9. I'm also civil service eligible, like you nurses, okay. But unlike you, I needed to take the test, and I also have a Cambridge CELTA qualification, and there are only a few people in the Philippines who have this. Why? Because most TESOL certificates in the Philippines, they're what, 10, 15,000, 20,000 would be expensive nowadays. But CELTA is actually over 100,000 pesos, and it's a 5-week course. And it's by Cambridge. So very few people have it. It's a very hard, it's a very difficult course. Let me tell you now. Okay. I'm not blonde, obviously. There you go. I don't have a British accent. My accent is neutral. It's not American. It's not British. Neutral lang po. Still got a 9, right? So thank you very much. That's me, but I'm not the focus of this session. Okay, your writing is. So For those who are new, let me give you a short overview about the writing test. So, the writing test will be if you're taking the regular paper based test, okay, you should be there at 8 in the morning. They will close the doors at 9. If you're late, sorry, late, okay, you reschedule, you're going to pay another 11,000 pesos, right? The first test will be listening. It will start at around 9:10 or 9:15 after a short orientation. And then at 10, you will have your reading test. And finally, the third test in the morning at around 11 is writing. Okay. So you'll be given 60 minutes in total to complete this. And unfortunately, you have two tasks. Okay. If it were just one, I think it would be easy because an hour would be more than enough for one writing task. The problem is you have two of them. So task one is a report. It's not going to be a letter because I think all of you here are, well, most of you here are nurses. So you're going to take the academic test. For the academic candidates, task one is a report. So this will be my topic. I think in 2 weeks, I'll be a guest again here. I'm going to teach you about writing task one. Okay. But for today, our focus is writing task two. There are minimum word requirements. Okay. For task one, minimum 150. For task two, minimum 250. There are no maximums. However, it doesn't mean that the more you write, the better your score. No. In fact, it's the opposite. If you write something that's too long, your score will probably also go down because research has shown that most people who get band 7, 8, 9, they write between 270 and 280. If you exceed that, the score tends to go down, especially if you exceed 300. That's from official research from Ielts regional office in Hong Kong. I attended the conference there. Okay, so maybe for task two, you write between 270 to 80. That would be optimum. That's what the data shows. And then for task one, 160, 170, maybe 180. But please don't write 190 or 200. It's a waste of your time. Okay, why? When they compute the score, only 33% will come from task one. The remaining 67% will come from task two. So task one, 33. Task two is 33 times 2, 66 plus 1. So it's 67. It's more than twice. So let me give you a sample computation. If you get 7 in task one and only 6.5 in task two, your score 6.5. Okay? But if you only get 6.5 in task one and congratulations, 7 in task two, your writing score will be 7. Congratulations. So it's not worth spending a lot of time on task one because the returns are not that, they're not that big. They're not that important. In fact, if you can finish it faster than 20 minutes, then please do so because it is possible. You can write it in about probably 18, 19 minutes. When I write my task one, I usually do it between 10 to 12. But I've had years of training. I've been I've been teaching writing since 2009. Okay, it's a good thing they don't require you 12 minutes. It's 20. Okay, and then the remaining time, 40 minutes or more, you can use for writing task two. Now, let me answer some of the questions in advance. Sir, pwede bang mauna yung task 2 sa task 1? Yes. You can do it task 1, task 2, or task 2, task 1 because they give you both sets of questions at the same time. So it's up to you. So why don't you do a little experiment? Some people ask me, is it better to do task 2 first because it's longer? Or is it better to finish task 1 so you can concentrate on task 2? The answer is it depends, and please use the scientific method. What do I mean by that? Use experimentation. I mean, I hope you're not taking the test next week, right? So maybe next week you try doing it task two, task one. And then the next time you try doing it task one, task two, do it a couple more times. And then, you know, decide. You get feedback from those sessions. Kasi iba-iba tayo ng, ng approach. Eh. I cannot give you a generic answer. So the best thing to do would be to experiment so that you can know yourself. Okay? Knowing yourself will lead you to victory. Know yourself. Very important. Okay. Um. So if you can finish. Oh. So yeah, if you can finish task one less than 20 minutes, that would be wonderful for your task two, because an extra 2 minutes would be very very helpful in essay writing. Okay. So that's an advanced answer for those who want to ask. Okay. Next. Uy. Hello. 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 So um let me tell you about the grading criteria. So last week I discussed this in detail. Wait, in fact, if you want to see, I wasn't planning on doing this, but let me share it anyway. I'm gonna flash a sample of the grading system for writing, the one that they use all over the world, international. They do use this in the Philippines, in Japan, in Malaysia, okay, in the UK, in the US, in Canada. This is the one that they use. Okay. By the way, this is downloadable, okay, from the ielts.org website. So ielts.org. Pwede nyo pong i-download ito. Let me show you. Reshare. Here you go. Ayan po. As you can see, okay, it's divided into bands. Okay, and it's divided into task achievement, coherence and cohesion, lexical resource, grammatical range, and accuracy. If your teacher hasn't shown you this, maybe they don't know how to use it. You find another teacher. Honestly, hindi na ako mambobola. I'm just gonna be very, very direct. If they don't know what they're doing, you deserve better. Okay, use your money wisely. So let's have a quick look at what you need, because most of you need seven, right? So don't worry, I'm not gonna discuss all of this. I'm just gonna look for the most important points. Unlike last week, it was very detailed. For now, let's just focus on a few points, okay? The most important one for me, although it's only 25% like the rest, is task achievement. On the left column, task achievement. Because if you get a low score for this one, the rest will be affected. Okay, how do you get band 7? You need to address all parts of the task. If you forget, one part of the task, you'll never get 7. In fact, I think you're only going to get 5 for that one. So if they ask you for the advantages and disadvantages, and then you totally forget to discuss one of them, then no 7. In fact, no 6. The best score that you'll get will be 5. Okay? Yun po. Um, So make sure that you understand, okay, what the question is, what the task is, and what they're looking for, so that you don't get that automatic penalty. Okay, address all parts of the task. If they ask you to discuss both views, and then give your opinion, that's 5 paragraphs. Discuss both views, 1 paragraph, 2 paragraphs, both views. Then give your own opinion, isa pang paragraph. Then your intro, conclusion, that should be 5. If you just discuss the two sides and then you don't give your own opinion, you'll never get 7. Best score, 5. Okay? Make sure that you understand this. Next, presents a clear position throughout the response. Some people write their opinion in the conclusion. Okay? That's not a style of writing that's recommended for IELTS. You can use that probably in creative writing or in feature writing. Iba-iba po yung writing eh. But for IELTS essay writing, they want you to present your position all throughout your essay. So, you state it outright, state it directly in the introduction. Wala nang background information. Don't use the techniques that you learn in college. Some of you start with a question. Some of you start with a saying. No, don't do that in the IELTS test. Some of you start with super background statements. You don't need to do that. Just go directly to the point. You only have 40 minutes. You don't have 1 week to write this. It's only 40 minutes. Okay? You need to present your opinion clearly from the very beginning. You need to support your opinion in every paragraph. Don't say things in the body paragraph that will go against your opinion. Some people do that. Okay, unless they ask you to. Some essays will ask you to present both views, but if they're only asking for one opinion, do you agree or disagree? Then make sure that everything you write supports your thesis statement or your opinion statement. Okay, and then make sure that in your conclusion, you don't contradict yourself. Some people do that. In the introduction, they say, I agree. In the conclusion, they say it depends on the situation. Please, very common error. Okay. If you want to say that it depends, okay, say it from the start. Intro, it depends. Buddy, you explain why it depends. In this situation, yes. In this situation, no. And then in the conclusion, make sure that it's clear that it depends. Gets you? But don't go on changing your minds in the middle or at the end of the essay. Be consistent and be clear. What's the purpose of the of the IELTS test? It's to test how you will be using English as a medium of communication when you go abroad. Okay, so the point of all of this is, can you communicate? If you use a lot of difficult terms, okay, or very very long complicated sentences to the point that they don't understand you, then you're not really a good user of English. Some people think like that, especially Filipinos. Whenever they see essays with difficult words and long sentences, their reaction is, "Wow, ang galing naman nito. Hindi ko siya maintindihan." But in fact, if you don't understand what they wrote, then they're not really good writers. Who's a good writer? And J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter. She's good because she's easy to understand. Who else? Mark Twain, the writer of Huckleberry Finn and the Adventures of Tom Sawyer. His average word count is about 10 words per sentence. Mark Twain, he's considered one of the greatest American writers of all time, American literature. Okay. So please be clear, be consistent. Okay. And okay, that's it. Yeah, I don't want to go into too much detail. I did that last week. That's for task achievement. Those are the most important points for me personally. Okay. The next one is coherence and cohesion. To simplify it for you guys, let's just call this organization. Is your writing organized? Okay. How do they judge? How do the examiners judge if your writing is organized? Let's take a look at band 7. First, you logically organize information and ideas. Yeah, of course. That's why it's called organization. Okay. Because some people, they write paragraphs, but you don't know what the main topic is. They discuss so many things in one paragraph that, the meaning gets lost. Remember this you need to present a clear central topic or a clear central argument within each paragraph. If they ask you for the advantages and disadvantages, separate them, don't put them together. Okay, give them their own paragraphs because if you mix them, then you don't have a clear central topic. Okay, if they ask you if you agree or disagree with banning smoking in public places, don't mix your arguments. Okay, make sure that each paragraph has a clear argument. Paragraph 1 intro. Paragraph 2, we should ban cigarettes because they cause a lot of health issues. They can kill. Paragraph 2. Paragraph 3, you can talk about the financial costs of smoking. Then paragraph 3, paragraph 4, you can discuss the environmental effects of smoking. And then paragraph 5, conclusion. So that's very organized. Okay, don't mix them up. How do you do this? Okay, you can avoid committing that mistake. Okay, by not writing your essay right away, by spending 5 to 6 minutes just thinking about an essay plan or an outline, and then thinking about your vocabulary. I will demonstrate that tonight. Okay, I'll demonstrate it more compared to last week. And another condition, there should be a clear progression throughout. What does that mean? Intro, body, conclusion. This is why if you don't write a conclusion, even though even if you write a very nice essay, okay, if there's no conclusion, it will be impossible to get 7. In fact, not only for coherence and cohesion, also for task achievement. Okay, because let's take a look at task achievement. It says here, let me highlight it for you. It says here, band score 5, 5, there may be no conclusions drawn. So if you don't write a concluding sentence, kahit sentence lang, even if it's just one sentence, then best score will be a 5. You need to write some sort of conclusion, okay, to give yourself a fighting chance. So band 7, clear progression throughout. It means that your essay is going somewhere because some people write, they keep on writing stuff. They keep on writing sentences just to fulfill the word requirement, just to reach 250 words. They write stuff there that's not needed, or they write sentences that are not connected with the previous sentence, illogical. This is how you get a lower score. So make sure that the essay is going somewhere. Okay. Is there a question here? Let's see. Okay, not yet. So that's coherence and cohesion. The next 25% of your score comes from lexical resource. Let's simplify that. It's just vocabulary. Okay. So how to get a good score? A band 7 at least in vocabulary. Let's see. Let's see. It says uses a sufficient range of vocabulary to allow some flexibility and precision. I think this is the most important point here. Please remember flexibility and precision. Let me explain it to you. Just to get a band 6, you need to show range, okay? A range in your vocabulary. You need to show the examiner that you know a lot of words. One of the easiest ways to do this would be to paraphrase, okay? You avoid copying the wordings, in the question as much as possible. Sometimes it's hard to avoid, using some of them, but as much as possible, avoid using those words. For instance, if they ask you in the question, do you agree or disagree? Don't use the words agree or disagree in your introduction because they already used that in the question. If you want, you can copy the words, okay, for your conclusion. Pwede na, because by that time, you've already proven yourself, you've shown your vocabulary. But in the introduction, as much as possible, you avoid doing that, okay? If they say school in the question, school, 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 there are other words that you can use like what? Academic institutions, what? Learning establishments, institutions of learning. Okay, or you can even be more figurative like the classroom or the four walls of the classroom. You can also say that. Okay, but avoid copying the words. However, let me give you a little bit of a warning because some people go overboard. No, not just some people, most people go overboard with paraphrasing. They paraphrase so much to the point that it's very understand to understand. It's very difficult. Sorry, I'm hyper. That it's very difficult to understand their statements. Ayun. Okay. So, guys, when you paraphrase, you still have to make sure that other people, not you, other people, the person checking your paper, okay, the examiner in the UK can still understand what you wrote. Please do not invent, okay, your own vocabulary. All right. Let me repeat. Do not invent your own vocabulary because I see a lot of people doing that. Just use the words that you see in intelligent publications like you know international newspapers. Okay, your books, from general education, first year, second year. Okay, those would be nice. Your psych books, for instance, your history books. Yeah, but please. Don't be too technical to the point that somebody would need an encyclopedia or dictionary to decode what you wrote. Okay, the point is to communicate. Okay, just to get 6, you need to show that you need to paraphrase, you need to use other words. But to get 7, okay, you need precision. Okay, what does that mean? Precision means that you're using the right words in the right sentence. Okay, because sometimes candidates use very difficult terms, but they don't fit the sentence. Let me give you an example. One of my favorite words is stop. Okay, stop. So let me just write it on screen. Stop. Okay. Can the audience please give me some synonyms? So what other words can we use instead of stop? Think of synonyms. Just type it in the chat box. I'll read them. Kaya nyo yan. There are dozens of synonyms for stop. Okay. Oh, nice. So let's start with the most common one. So you have end, you have pause. Mhm. What else? An impasse. That's a noun form. Okay. To discontinue, discontinue. Uh-huh. Oh, not disco. Discontinue. What else? Yun, British, no? Cease. All right. Ano pa? Hold. Mhm. Hold off. Pwede rin. You can write off there. Anything else? Ooh, I like this. Terminate. What else? Favorite. Kill. Another one is deter. Uh-huh. Avoid. Okay, to some extent, yes. Anything else? Hmm. To halt. All right. Ano yun? Sorry, the audio got cut off. Somebody said something. To hinder. Ooh, nakabukas yung Google nyo na. Uh-huh. Ano ba, when you watch Hollywood films and the policeman is trying to catch a criminal, what do they shout? Mhm. Okay, that's a good word. Freeze. And a lot more. You have block. You have bar. Okay, to bar the way, to block the way. At marami pa pong iba. Now, we have a lot of words here. So very good. So you're able to prove now that you have the range, that you have the flexibility. Okay, another one would be to disconnect. Yes. There are also some situational words. Okay, good. Now, you have a lot of words. Does it mean you're going to get 7, 8, or 9? No, because you still have to prove to the examiner that you know how to select which one is the best. Let's choose the high level terms here. Let's say discontinue or terminate because they have so many letters, no? They have a lot of syllables, okay? So if I'm chasing a criminal in a movie, will I say discontinue? I will shoot. Pangit. Or will you will you tell the criminal terminate, 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 motherfucker? You, mas maganda ba? It's better to say stop, I'll shoot, or freeze, mother, father. No bad words. Okay. So yeah, you see. So stop might seem simpler on its own, but if you put it in the sentence, it's actually better than saying discontinue or to terminate. Here's another example. Let's say that your manager, oh man, is about to give you some bad news. Okay. So here's an example. I will act. Mr. De Jesus, I'm sorry to say that according to your records, you did not meet the quota for the past 2 months. So I'm sorry to say this. It's nothing personal, but starting this Monday, your employment with the company is disconnected. Oh, starting Monday, your employment with the company is kill. Hmm. What would be the best word? You can say over. Yeah, your employment here is over. Or you can say, your employment is terminated. Perfect. So that's how you get 7, 8, or 9 by using the proper words at the proper time. Just because a word only has 3 letters doesn't mean it's a band 6. In fact, even a 3 letter word or 2 letter word can be a band 9 if you use it beautifully. But that's too much to ask for some people. So band 7 lang, okay? If you use it properly, that's band 7. Beautiful use, band 9. Okay? So there you go. So please don't go overboard. Don't invent your own terms. Just use them as they are used, okay, in reputable publications, please. Okay? So, for instance, you don't say white and black. Why? The proper collocation would be black and white. Okay? You don't say it's raining dogs and cats. Why? Because the proper way to say it, the popular use is it's raining cats and dogs. Okay, so no need to invent. Just start reading. Read good essays. Revisit the books, okay, that you've read before when you were in university and college, and maybe not the nursing books. General education books. Okay, thank you for participating. I really appreciate that one. So that's my take on lexical resource. Finally, one of the sections that most people are worried about is grammar, grammatical range, and accuracy. Do you know that the most common score globally and in the Philippines is 6677? I think about one fourth of test takers get that kind of score. Well, the last time I checked the statistics. Okay. So band six, task achievement, six, coherence and cohesion. And then most people get seven in lexical resource. And believe it or not, most people get seven in grammar, 23 or 24%. Okay. How do you get a band seven in grammar? Uh, ano to? Okay. All right. So how do you get seven in grammar? Okay. First condition uses a variety of complex structures. It means that if you have too many short, simple sentences, you're going to have a very difficult time getting seven. They want complex sentences. Okay. And usually complex sentences are long, but not too long. However, be careful now because there are also short sentences that can be complex in structure. So what are these things? Naalala nyo ba? Simple sentences, compound sentences. A compound sentence is a combination of two simple sentences connected by a conjunction. Simple, compound. Then you have uh, complex sentences, and then you have the most complicated, the compound complex sentences. If you don't know them anymore, it's easy. You'll probably be able to recall them in 5 minutes. Just look them up online. Okay. Okay. A complex sentence is a combination of a dependent clause and an independent clause. So it's an independent clause with a modifier, right? It's not that hard. Okay. Konting ano lang yan, konting review. Anyway, we do remind our students about these because when we conduct classes, if we see that the student has a weakness, a specific weakness in grammar, then we take some time in the lesson and then focus on that one. Or sometimes what I do is I prepare lessons for our next meeting. So ganun po kami. So we're not the type of review center that has a set thing to teach you. No. We adjust according to the needs of the client. And remember, most of our classes are one-on-one. That's why we can do that. So hindi PowerPoint, right? So anyway, use a variety of complex structures to get seven or more. And then you need to produce frequent error-free sentences. What does that mean? It means 70%. Okay. If 70% of your sentences don't have a grammar error, then that's a seven. Yes, sir. That sounds so difficult. No, it's not. Okay, because not all of your mistakes are grammar errors. Okay. Even if the teacher writes something in red ink, okay, on each of your sentences, it doesn't mean that you're gonna get a low score in grammar because sometimes it might be a word choice error. Sometimes it might be an error in organization. So ask your teacher. Okay. Guys, the examiners actually count how many words plus how many sentences you've written. So let me ask you, when you practice on your own, are you counting? Do you count? Do you know how many words you're writing? If you're not doing it, then maybe you should. Because if examiners do it, you should do it. Okay. When you write an essay or maybe even your task on your report, do you actually know how many sentences you're writing? If not, then maybe you should. Okay. Maybe you should be aware of what you're doing. If the examiners count the number of sentences, you should be counting the number of sentences. I think that's logical naman. If you disagree, okay lang. Just type it in the chat box. I don't mind. Okay. So, yun lang po. I think the first two bullet points are the most important ones. Okay. When it comes to grammar. If you want to download a complete copy of this, just go to ielts.org and this is downloadable po. This is the public descriptor. Okay. Now, would you like a copy of the examiner version of these descriptors? Unfortunately, I cannot provide it to you because I don't have a copy of that. Because that's private, that's proprietary. Okay, if they catch you with it and you were not authorized, they can sue you. You can go to jail because that's private. Okay? So yun po. Yeah. So may tanong so far about the grading? Okay, now I will accept questions about writing in general. So if you have questions, okay, uh, pwede bang gumamit ng ballpen? No, you cannot use ballpen. Sir, can we erase? Yes, that's why you're using pencil. Sir, how many pencils can we bring? Two, three, four, five, six. When I took my test, the first time I brought seven with me. They were all sharpened because I don't want to waste my time sharpening. Sir, will we get a higher score if we write in cursive? No, you won't. Who told you that? It's not in the grading system. Some review centers teach that. I understand. That's that's not accepted. Sir, can we write in all caps? Yes, but don't expect a high score. If you're only targeting six or below, then and you're comfortable with all caps, then go ahead. It won't really affect your score. Okay, but if you want 6.5 or more, you need to show uppercase and lowercase lettering. Okay, why? Because the examiners are also English teachers, English professionals, and capitalization is part of grammar. Okay, kailan niya? Sabi ni sabi ng isang participant, one of you said, ha ha ha, kailan naman pwede pose? Okay, we thought it was allowed. No. Okay. Maybe you can try it. I don't know. As much as possible, uppercase, lowercase, because you are educated people. You graduated from university. You're medical professional. I've asked that question a lot of times with examiners. I've been attending training sessions with examiners with British Council and IDP since 2006. Okay, a few months after I started working, nag-attend na ako ng training nila. And that question always arises. Okay, and their answer is this. You can try it. It's supposed to be not important, but we won't like it. Yun ang lagi nilang sinasabi. Examiners play it safe. Okay? You can do it if you want, but we won't like it. So they won't tell you directly. Ini-imply lang nila. Right? Um, Sir, can we indent? Yeah, you can. Okay, but the best way to show paragraphing would be to use spaces. So how many spaces do you leave? At least one. You can leave two spaces or three. Most of the examiners I ask, they usually say you leave at least two spaces in between so that if you need to add something, if you need to edit, and you use up another space, at least there's still one space. There'll still be one space remaining. Okay. Oh, this is a very good question, sir. Does handwriting affect the score? Okay, it will only affect the score if your handwriting is illegible. So this is not a problem if you're taking the computer-based test, because it's typewritten. But if you're taking the paper-based test, make sure that your handwriting is readable. I said readable, not beautiful, because they don't judge the aesthetics or the cosmetics of your writing. It's not a calligraphy exam. As long as they can understand it, then it's acceptable. Just make sure that they can read it. I for one have very bad handwriting. Most of the time, I don't even understand my own handwriting. So whenever I take uh, an English test and it requires me to write by hand, I slow down because I know that if I write too fast, they will not understand my handwriting. Okay, pero believe me, they will exert all the effort that they can to understand your handwriting. In fact, I asked one examiner. He worked for bawal. He worked as an examiner for 15 years. So I asked him, how many times have you given a band score one? Okay, in the 15 years that you're working. Because if your handwriting is illegible, then it's automatically band score one. So it's like you threw away money. You wasted more than 11,000 pesos in a few weeks of your life just to get a band one, just because of your handwriting. Okay? Sabi niya sa akin, I've only done it like once. In 15 years daw, isang beses lang. He only gave a band score one due to illegible handwriting. Only once in his 15-year career. So tanong ko, well, what do you do when you encounter that? Usually daw, they give it to another examiner. If the second examiner doesn't understand the handwriting, they give it to a third examiner. If the third examiner doesn't understand the handwriting, then you get band score 1. You're very lucky. Kasi konti lang yan. Very few people get that. So please make sure it's make sure it's understandable. All right. Sir, how about punctuation marks? What punctuation marks do we use? The period, the comma. You can get away with with using only those two. Okay. Sometimes, it might be you might need to use the apostrophe, but you don't really need exclamation points because these are considered informal. You can use them for greetings, but you're not writing a letter, you're writing a report for task one. So no exclamation points. Don't be hysterical. Sir, can we use question marks? Yeah, but it's not really recommended because it's an essay. You're not supposed to ask questions unless it's a rhetorical question. Now, do you know how to write rhetorical questions effectively? If not, then maybe just play it safe. Just write direct statements. So I never use question marks. Okay, never use question marks. Don't use emoticons like smileys. Okay, don't do that. It's not a text. It's not social media. It's a formal academic essay. All right. What else? Oh, please avoid using contractions. Shouldn't, wouldn't, couldn't, haven't, didn't. When do you use contractions? You use contractions for speaking because they make you sound more fluent. I do not know. I don't know. I don't know is better than I do not know. Okay. I cannot do that. I can't do that. That's better for speaking. But for writing, you're supposed to write everything. Please do not use contractions. Some questions. Sir, what if we didn't reach the minimum number of words? You get deductions for task achievement. Not in grammar, not in vocabulary, all right? You only get deductions in task achievement. What's the system? -1, -2, -3. If you're missing, it's minus 1 point for every 50 words missing. So if you're missing up to 50, so 49, 38, 27, 16, that's -1. So if you were supposed to get a 7 for task achievement and you're missing like 21 words, that's -1. 7 minus 1 is 6. Okay. If it's what between 50 and 100, that's -2. Okay. And if it's more than 100, that's -3. -3. 3 tuloy. -3. Okay. So please make sure you reach the minimum. Next question, sir. What is the maximum number of words? There's no maximum. Okay. However, research shows that if you write more than 280, the score tends to go down. Yeah, because the more you write, the more mistakes you will make. Doesn't make sense. And you're going to run out of time. Okay. Is it okay to have a question? I think I already answered this one. And unless you're good at writing rhetorical questions and it fits the topic, then yes. But most of the time, you can get a 9 even without doing that. So if you're not used to it, don't. Are we allowed to bring scratch paper for writing in the computer-based test? No, you're taking a computer-based test, so everything should be done on the computer. Okay, you're gonna have a notepad, and remember, you can delete, anything that you write, you can easily delete. So you don't need a. If you want to use a scratch paper, take the paper-based test. Personally, I prefer what? I prefer which one? Computer-based. Why? Because I have terrible handwriting. Secondly, I'm much faster when I'm typing. Okay. Next question, sir. Task one. Block format po ba ang letter? Oh, somebody's asking about the letter. I thought everyone was academic. Okay, anyway, hindi po. Okay, as I said, if you're only targeting a low score, 6 or below, block is okay. Block format if you're comfortable. But if you want a higher score, you better show uppercase and lowercase lettering. No problem, sir. No problem, Jazz. Okay, so basta may questions kayo, if you have questions, just type them in. Don't be shy. Another question, sir. Can we use the semicolon? Oh yeah. If you know how to use it, it would be wonderful because it's higher level. Okay. In fact, here's a tip. I try to use the semicolon once or twice. Okay, in my essays, and I've gotten higher scores because of that. It's not automatic. Okay, I'm not saying that it's a cheat. No, it's not automatic, but it does show the examiner that you know some of the more complex rules of grammar. So if you know how to use it properly, the other punctuation marks like the double dash, okay, the colon and the semicolon, then go ahead. Just make sure that you've studied how to do them properly. Okay. Next question. Ah, somebody commented the semicolon is hard to use. Yeah, it's hard if if you haven't practiced. Okay, but just watch a few tutorials on YouTube. You'll probably learn how to do it. Um, the semicolon can be used to replace some conjunctions, such as what and or nor. Okay. In addition, moreover, furthermore, due to this, instead of those words, you can use the semicolon. However, it's not counted as a word. Okay. So instead of if you use the semicolon instead of therefore, you just lost one in the word count. So you know what? I'd rather use therefore than write a semicolon because it doesn't give me the points. Pampa-impress lang siya. Okay? So, if you're confident about the word count, then it's okay. But if you're not, don't risk it. Okay? It's all about knowing yourself. Sir, in the computer-based test, is there a pound and a dollar sign there? Since in my laptop, it needs a special command. You don't have full keyboard. Yeah, because they use desktop computers. Okay, they use desktop computers in the computer delivered test. However, they don't use Microsoft Word, and it's not connected to the internet. They have their own internet. Okay, so some of you might be wondering, sir, can I just take the test from home? It's not available yet. It might be in the future. I think they're working on it, but right now, well, will it be next year? Maybe 2 or 3 years or more. Depends on things. My laptop has the dollar and the pound sign. Okay, so and the ones that they use for the IELTS test will have those will have those symbols. Anyway, if you do if you need a special command, you can actually copy paste it from the question. Okay, if you're taking the computer based test and the dollar sign or the pound sign is there, just highlight it. Control C, Control V. There you go. No more special commands. Okay, I hope that I wasn't expecting to get these questions. That's very interesting. All right. Any other questions? You can ask me about the test paper, the answer sheet. Go ahead. Walang problema. Hmm. Nice question. Sir, what's the difference between the British Council and IDP? Okay. They're different organizations. The IELTS is owned by three organizations. Okay. The first one is, of course, Cambridge English. Cambridge ESOL, actually. Cambridge English. Ito yan. They're the ones in charge of, they created the test. Okay. And then they're in charge of coming up with questions. They're in charge of quality control. They're in charge of monitoring the examiners, for example. British Council and IDP, okay, are what? They're just test administrators, taga-deliver ng test. Okay, in fact, if some people take the test with British Council, kunwari on this Saturday, okay, July 10, and then some of you take the test with IDP, Saturday, then July 10, you'll get absolutely the same listening, reading, writing, and even the speaking questions. Absolutely the same. In the past, they actually shared examiners. Okay, well, once you were an examiner, you could work for either British Council or IDP. But then, no, the business grew. More and more people were taking the test, and there were some conflicts. Okay, some conflicts with the scheduling of the examiner. So they just decided to have their own pool, exclusive na. So now, if you're an examiner for BC, you just work for them. If you're an examiner for IDP, you just work for them. And I think that's a good idea to avoid conflicts. Okay, but if you're asking about writing style or the grading, oh man, who told you that? Is that person a previous examiner or did that person get nine? Has he been working for a long time in the industry? In my experience, most people who say that IDP is better or British Council is better, it's because of their personal experience. They took the test with IDP, they failed. Second take, British Council, they passed. So they tell their friends, mas madali sa British Council. Whereas in fact, they don't have enough data. And the opposite is also true. Okay? Pare, mahirap sa British Council kasi pumasa ako IDP. Well, it's because first of all, you weren't prepared the first time. Okay, and the second time you took it, you already knew your weaknesses and you were already familiar with the test. That's why you passed, not because of different preferences. Guys, don't you understand? It's an international it's an international test. Okay. The grading of the examiner in the Philippines is exactly the same as the grading of an examiner in the UK. Why? Because they only use one set of descriptors. And these are double checked. Two people, two examiners check your papers. Okay. And the scores have to match. Right? In fact, if they don't match, if one examiner gives you 6, the other one gives you 7, they will not average it. They will give it to a third examiner, a senior examiner, who will recheck your paper and then take a decide on your final score, the proper score. And then the examiner who makes a mistake, okay, will have that mistake noted in their permanent file. And if they commit two mistakes, if they commit too many mistakes, they don't get renewed. An examiner's contract is 2 years. Okay. Every 2 years, they have to get a recertification. I bet you didn't know that. Ang swerte nyo, you only need to take the IELTS once, and then within 2 years, if you get out of the country, if you get to your destination, you won't need to take IELTS ever again. But examiners, they're required to get tested every 2 years until the end of their career. Kayo ang swerte nyo, isang beses lang. Okay? They're very strict. And you know what? Once you're an examiner in one country, you're basically an examiner in any country. Some examiners use that opportunity. Okay, and they live in different countries. I met this examiner, okay, who's been an examiner in Mongolia, in Indonesia, in the United States, also in the UK. It's like he's been to what, over 20 countries, and he did it working as an examiner. Okay, so guys, grading is the same. And please, I always tell my students this. Don't compare maybe it's you or maybe it's your teacher. Think about it. Think about it. We have to face reality to be successful. Okay. Next. Uh which IELTS should I take? Okay, US and UK. If you want to be sure, take the UKVI because it's accepted for all countries. UKVI. If you take the regular IELTS, it might not be accepted in the UK, but if you take UKVI, it will be accepted anywhere, any country. Okay. Yes, validity of the IELTS is just 2 years. Next, Marlon is asking, can you discuss regarding task two structures for different questions? Um, May I ask the admin, is the recording for last week available? Do you post it on the page? Because I haven't checked.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Was
Okay,
posted.
Sir Marlon, ganito,
Mm-mm.
if you want a very detailed discussion of task two, kasi I spent, I think, more than 30 minutes on this one
Yes.
last week or the last time. So please, IFNG is very kind to post it, even though they don't need to. Okay, and in some cases, they don't have to. Pinopost nila. So please watch that. So pwede mo na the nice thing about the video is you can forward it, no? If you don't want to see my face and you want to go directly to those questions na lang, pwede mong i-forward yan, tsaka backwards. Right? Because today, instead of just the structures, I want to show you a whole essay because I wasn't able to show this last week. So Marlon, kung okay lang, no? But sige, I'm gonna cover it a little bit naman when I show you the proper approach. Okay. So I think we should go to the main event. All right. So let's get to writing. So admins, may ano ba? May nagustuhan ba kayong question dyan? I think the questions are, ano ba, natabunan na sila.
Ang hirap mamili, sir. It's hard to choose because they are
Mm.
really good.
Yeah, I haven't seen them. So,
Okay,
sige,
I'll
ano,
just post them
yeah, you
again.
you choose whichever and then I'll write something on it.
All right. So I'll just post this one from JJ Divina Gracia. I
Okay,
like her
I'm
quote.
gonna pray. I'm gonna pray that I know how to answer it.
So the question is, when people succeed, it is because of hard work. Luck has nothing to do with it. Success, do you agree or disagree with the quotation?
Ooh, that's nice. I love it. Okay, so did this appear? Did this question appear in a previous exam? Let's see. Yeah. So I hope you can see my screen. So let me just copy that question. Ganda. Yan po. Oops, it's a bit small. So let's enlarge it. So guys, get your papers and your pencils because you're gonna work along with me. Because I'm not taking the test, you are. Okay, I already passed it. Yeah. Wow, that's nice. I like this one. So when people succeed, it's because of hard work. Luck has nothing to do with success. Do you agree or disagree with the quotation? Now, the tricky thing about this is it's actually composed of two questions. Okay, the first one, when people succeed, the reason is hard work. The second statement is luck has nothing to do with it. Okay, and then they're asking you, do you agree or disagree? However, do you agree or disagree with what? Because they didn't say, do you agree with the first sentence or do you agree with the second sentence? So if this happens to you, automatically they're asking you about the latest sentence. So do you agree or disagree with this one? That, okay? Because I've seen questions with like two or even three what building up statements. Okay, if they ask you agree or disagree, it's always with the latest sentence that they mentioned. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to know. Secondly, if they ask you to agree or disagree for Marlon, Sir Marlon, you can write 4 or 5 paragraphs. Okay, there are some questions that are automatically four, like what are the advantages and disadvantages? For na yan. Intro, advantage, disadvantage, conclusion four. If they ask you, do the benefits outweigh the disadvantages? That's automatically five. Okay, intro opinion, two positives, one negative, or sorry, one negative, two positives, and then conclusion, lima, or vice versa. Okay, but for do you agree or disagree? What is your opinion? To what extent do you agree or disagree? It's 4 or 5. You have a lot of freedom there, so it's more flexible. How many do I recommend? Most examiners say four is enough. Okay, but again, it depends on how many ideas you have. So what do I do here? I have 40 minutes, di ba? Well, let me check the time. It's 10:03. All right. So I have 40 minutes. Don't worry, I won't take 40 minutes for this. So what do you do with your time? First of all, okay, no writing within the first 5 minutes. Don't resist the temptation. Okay, don't write your essay yet. What should you do? First, you should prepare your vocabulary. So this is called the pre-writing process, and then you prepare your essay plan, or let's just call it an outline. Okay, sir. If we're taking the paper-based test, where do we do this? On your questionnaire. Because the questionnaire will have a lot of blank spaces and the back page is totally blank. And then the front page where the question is, okay, half of the page will be blank. Okay, for the computer delivered test, uh, you can do what I'm doing on screen. Just make sure to erase them before you submit your essay. All right, thank you. So take about 5 minutes for this one. Yes, all right. And then vocabulary. Take a look at the question, and then use your imagination. Which of these words will be repeated over and over when you write your essay? Okay, and then try to think of two or three replacements or synonyms for them. Okay, that will ensure that you're gonna be able to show your range, your flexibility to the examiner. Okay, so para sa akin, it's people succeed, 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 and because of hard work, no, tricky, and then luck, and then of course success. All right. So I think this one is easy because you only need to think of four. So what words can we use instead of people? The generic ones are individuals and then men and women. People always say person, people, person, people, person. No, individuals, it sounds more academic. Men and women, it sounds more academic. And it's three words. People, one word. Individuals, one word. Men and women, three words. Okay. You can also use more specific terms like what? People, teachers, students, employees, parents, children, relatives, athletes, musicians, artists. It depends on the topic. Okay. What else? Individuals, men and women, persons. Okay. How about succeed? What else can we use instead of succeed? Any suggestions from the audience? So, succeed or success, can be related. People succeed when people ooh, are victorious. Okay, excellent. When people triumph, they don't need to be exact, right? Because you can actually turn this into all sorts of sentence structures. So yeah, victory or victorious in their lives. Succeed, verb, victorious, adjective. Uh-huh. When they when they accomplish. All right. Or accomplishment. To follow or to replace, I think that's a different meaning, guys. English words have multiple meanings. If you just because if you just right click on it and then take a look at the list given to you by Microsoft Word or by the dictionary, then you might be choosing the wrong word. Okay, to succeed kasi can also mean to follow. So in case of the president dying, then the vice president will succeed him or her in that position. Palitan. However, I don't think that's the topic of this of this question. You should always think about vocabulary in context. Paano ba siya ginamit? Okay? For instance, what is the meaning of fly? A fly in English, can be an insect. Bzzz, we hate it. Okay. Fly can also means to what? To soar, like what the birds or the insects are doing. Okay, the creatures with wings to soar. Okay. What else? To levitate. Okay, yeah, fly. The fly can also mean the front of your pants. Yung pong harapan ng pantalon nyo. That's called a fly. It can be a zipper fly or a button fly. Okay, but the front of the pants, that's called the fly or the closure. Okay, another meaning of fly would be, it's the bait used by fishermen. I'm gonna show you an example. So take a look at my screen. Where's that? Here you go. Look, fly. So I'm gonna type fly and then I'm gonna type fishing. Let's take a look at the pictures that appear. Okay, let's remove fishing. Let's just type fly. Okay, of course you have the insect. However, here's an example of a fly. The thing is, it's not really popular here in the Philippines. Here, this is an example of a fly. Okay, so it acts like a sort of bait for fish. Fly lures. This one. I think that's a better word. Oh, there you go. See? These are also called flies. And they're made of plastic or feathers. They might be synthetic or natural. Those are not real insects or animals, by the way. Those are just imitations. And then you can see the hooks, right? At the bottom. There you go. In the Philippines, we use worms, but abroad, they're more creative. They use these things. Very colorful. So there you go. So when you think of the vocab, think about it in the context of the question. Okay. Let's go back. There you go. So to triumph, to be victorious, to accomplish something. Okay. To prosper. That's a good one. When people prosper, ganda. Okay. Pag nagtatagum, pag umuunlad sila. Anything else? When they reach the top, when they become number one, when they achieve their dreams, or when they achieve their goals. Ayan, dami naman eh. Remember, when you're thinking of synonyms or replacements, it doesn't have to be one word. Hindi naman siya one is to one eh. One word can be replaced by a whole sentence. You can replace it with 3 or 4 words or 5 words or even a whole sentence, di ba? There you go. How about hard work? Please don't say hard labor because that's a that's a different context. It's because of hard work. It's because of diligence, pagpupursige. Oh, Tagalog. Okay, it's because of their diligence. It's because of their nonstop work. You can even say it's because of their attitude. Just a general statement. Oh, nice. Perseverance. Yun, ganda. Yes, perseverance, great effort. It's because they gave it their all. It's because of their untiring work or untiring pursuit. Okay, it's the fruits of their labors. Oh, that's nice. It's because of their work ethic. Kaganda ng mga suggestions ninyo. Thank you very much. It makes my job so much easier. Okay, it's because of their effort. And what's the other one? I forgot it. It's the fruit of their labor. Oh, that's parang literary, no? Fruit of their labors. Excellent. Ang dami na. You don't need this much. You only need 2 or 3. Okay. And then finally, this might be a bit difficult. Luck. Luck has nothing to do with success. What can we say instead of luck? Mm, excellent. Fortune. Good fortune because you have bad fortune also. So good fortune. Favorable circumstances. It's because of uh good luck. Faith, no faith. I think is different. Ah, I think faith. Yes, pwede. This one, faith. Yes, pwede yan. That's actually a very good word for it. Okay, because of hmm, blessings. Yes, good chances. Uh, here's a good one. Because of opportunities. Okay, ganda. I think I like opportunities here. Okay, and also faith. That's a good one. Okay, what else? Destiny. Parang faith din, di ba? Sige, pero be careful about using it because it's not exactly the same. No, it depends on your sentence then. What else? Because of ano sa English yung nagkataon lang. Nagkataon lang. Hmm. Chance, okay. Actually, yeah, luck is chance. Game of chance, di ba? Okay, auspicious, by chance, ayun, I found the word. Okay, luck can also be called coincidences. What kind of coincidences? Favorable coincidences, good coincidences, beneficial coincidences. Dami. Ay, ganda. Timing. Thank you. I like that. Yeah, because of good timing. Yeah, because it is luck. All right. So now, you know, fortuitous circumstances, fortuity, pwede rin. Okay? Fortuity. Although, lalim yan. All right? You only need two or three. So at least, from the very start, even before you write, you're giving yourself a fighting chance because you have so many to choose from. Sir, pwede namang dito na lang. I already have it here. Yeah, but once you're writing, you know, you will forget these words. Or if you try to remember them when you need them, it will take you longer. Okay? So yan po. So think of two to three. And then finally you write your outline. So um I always number my outlines. I hate it when my students don't number them. Okay, why? Because that's how our brains were trained. We can see numbers easily. Some people just write intro, conclusion, and then they make mistakes. Why? Because they don't have numbers to follow. I prefer numbers. Okay, so the first paragraph will be your intro plus your opinion. So you don't need to write intro or opinion. Just write I and O. It's just an outline. The examiner will not grade this. Okay. And then what's the question again? Let me see. When people succeed, it's because of hard work. Luck has nothing to do with success. Do you agree or disagree with the quotation? Okay. Some people just write agree or disagree there. Okay. Again, my suggestion is don't. If you want to use agree or disagree, just use it in the conclusion. If you want to say succeed, success, okay, luck, just use it in maybe in the body paragraphs or in the conclusion, but in the introduction, as much as possible, you avoid, right? So instead of writing agree there, maybe I'm gonna say, yeah, luck is critical. Okay, and then you need to convince your examiner or your reader that it is important. You don't need to discuss. Some people say they agree, some people say they disagree. No, okay, because they didn't ask you to discuss both views. They just ask you to choose one side. So choose one side, and then once you've chosen it, you just prove it. You just explain it. Okay, so how can we prove that? Uh, that you also need luck in addition to hard work. Maybe it depends on the definition of luck. Okay, how many arguments do we need to come up with? You can come up with two or three arguments for the body paragraphs. Oops, sorry. So you can say idea A, idea B, then idea C, then you can write your conclusion. Paragraph 4 is optional. Okay, because you can already reach 250 words with the conclusion. Okay, so does anybody have an idea they want me to include in the essay? Just type it in the comments before I use my own. Baka sabihin nyo, dinectate ko lang. Mhm. No comments. Everybody finds it difficult. So how do you prove this? Well, you can mention examples. You can find proof because here's my first argument. There are hard workers who never succeed. Kasi bakit? Malas sila. Okay? Do you agree with that? Okay, let me convince you. Think of your coworkers or of your relatives. Do you have a relative or a coworker who's, middle age or maybe even an older adult? And you know that these are good people. They work hard. They work nonstop. They've been working for 30 or I don't know, 35, 40 years, but they're doing okay, but you cannot really call them very, very, very successful. Maybe they've been in the hospital for 40 years, but they're still a charge nurse. Hindi pa sila naging, I don't know, chief nurse or something. Mhm. Do you have relatives or friends who've been in their company in sales maybe for 2 or 3 decades and they still haven't been promoted to manager, even though they're good people and they work hard? Maybe it's even you, right? So this is gonna be my proof. There are people who graduated from nice schools, they have good degrees, they passed the board exam, okay, they work hard, they have a good work ethic, but they're still, not very happy with their lives because they're not getting the recognition that they deserve or the kind of money that they deserve. Kaya nag-IELTS sila. Sabihin nyo pag may tinatamaan na ako. Joke lang. All right. And here's another one. There are people who, it's the opposite actually. Okay. And there are people who are very, successful, even if they do not deserve it. Why? Because of luck. They were lucky to be born as the relative of the mayor, governor, president, senator, congressman, okay, or the doctor's relatives. Okay, maybe. So they're lucky. Yeah? Swerte nila yan. Guys, by the way, when we mention success here, it's not, obviously, it's not talking about your personal definition of success. We're talking about the usual definition of success. So what's that? You have a good job, you're making good money, you're an important person, you are recognized. That's it. The usual definition of success. You're winning. Okay. Success is winning. Okay, not the personal definition. Sir, I consider myself a success as long as I'm happy and my family is healthy. Yeah, you can do that for speaking, not for writing. Okay. Hmm. So what else? Maybe these people, even though they're not hard workers, are successful because of their gender. Because we know there's discrimination. You have more chances of winning, kumbaga, if you're born male and if you're born white. So it's an issue of race, no? So what are the determiners of their success? Okay, they were lucky. They're lucky because of their what of their relatives, because of their relations. They're lucky because of their, I don't know, their gender. They're lucky because of their race. Di ba? Sabi nga nila, if you're born white, then you have more chances. Okay, and if you're born from a poor country like the Philippines, then you have fewer chances. Not everyone is born equal. All right. So what else? Maybe they're lucky because they have the connections. Maybe they went to a good school. That's why they're lucky and they become very successful in a short period of time. Okay. Yep. You do know that there are preferences here in the country, right? Yeah. If you graduated from UP, Ateneo, Lasal, the other big schools, then it's an advantage. Unfortunately, even though nursing should be nursing depending, no matter where you graduated, they have that kind of bias. And not only here, even in the countries where you're going. For instance, in the US, if you graduate from an Ivy League school, you're considered lucky. You will have more opportunities. Well, ganun talaga. Okay. So this is actually enough if you want. And some people are lucky because they're famous. Think about politics. Donald Trump was lucky. Why? Because before he ran for president, he was already well known because of The Apprentice. You can mention him here. You can mention examples. Okay, and he was born into a rich family. So I'm gonna use Donald Trump. I'm gonna cite him as an example here. Okay, I think that's more than enough. Yeah, and then if you have a third idea, then you include it there. Pero kung wala na, okay lang din because you can easily reach 250 even with just 4 paragraphs. Let me think of another one. Mhm. I read something about the definition of hard work. Uh, ah, hmm. So my definition of luck. Okay, I'm gonna share that with you. So I think it's time to write now. Maybe next time I should I should prepare an essay, no, to make it less difficult for me. Joke lang. I don't mind. So here's a model essay that you can follow. Mhm. Let me copy the original because it's easier that way. I'm gonna show you two or three introductions, all right? So first, let me by the way, some advice. When you practice, please don't just write one intro or one conclusion. Practice naman yan eh. So maybe write at least two so that you will get to see different styles and you will discover which one is better for you. About my argument, outline 2 to 3. Do you disagree? Um, what do you mean by this? Uh, let me repeat. I don't need to discuss disagree because my opinion is I agree with it. Okay, I said that luck is critical. So if I say that, I cannot go against my own statements. Okay, so all of these body paragraphs, okay, they agree. They agree with my topic sentence. Did I explain that right? If you don't understand, just chat me up. All right. From Nars Erickson. Can you use idioms? Yeah, of course. The less common ones. Okay. You can use idiomatic speech. In fact, it's impossible to finish the essay without using a few idioms. You're just not realizing they're idiomatic. Okay. Pero please avoid the more common ones like I'm floating on cloud nine. Ano pa to? The land of milk and honey. The grass is greener on the other side. It's raining cats and dogs. They're low level. They're too obvious. Use the higher level ones. Okay. Yes, Roxanne. What is the meaning of I plus O? Sige, kompletuhin na natin. Intro, that's one sentence, plus my opinion. One sentence. That's I plus O. So in my actual outline, I don't write I plus O or intro opinion. Why? Because it's a waste of time. I already know what it is. Okay. This is just for presentation purposes. I don't even write idea A, idea B, idea C. Why? Because that's a waste of time. This will not be checked. Okay. I'm just showing this to make sure that you understand what I'm doing. Right? No problem. So here's the first intro. So okay, I'm gonna write it from the most basic to the most complex. All right. So the easiest way to write your intro, this is what most teachers teach. Okay, is to paraphrase. When people succeed, it's because of hard work. When people succeed, huh? What would be a good replacement for when? Marlon, do you need a concession? If you want, it's not needed though. It can be as strongly worded as you want it to be. Your essay can be totally biased and you can still get 9 because writing a balanced view is not part of the grading system. Okay, if you want to use concession statements, pwede naman, although it just complicates your essay a little bit. I teach that to higher level candidates. But you know what? If you're just targeting a 7, you don't even need that. Pang 9 na yun eh. Okay. So when people succeed, it's because of hard work. How can we paraphrase that one? When people succeed, let's take a look at our list of vocab. People, individuals, men and women, persons succeed, triumph, victorious, reach their dreams. Okay. hmm So you can say persons, individuals, men and women, men and women. Okay. Uh, win in life and become, prosperous. Okay. And what? And get achievements. Okay. And reach their goals and reach their goals. Why? Because they hard work. They were willing to mhm, because they were willing to persevere. there and give all of their effort. Okay, so I just paraphrased the first one. Second, luck has nothing to do with success. Okay, they say that, okay, that their status, sorry, they say that luck, okay, or favorable circumstances, parang pangit. Fate, uy, destiny, okay yan ah. Fortuity, they say that uh, fate or fortuity or good fortune. Okay, they say that good fortune or they say that uh, parang hindi ko feel yung ano, yung good fortune na yan. Uh, do we need to paraphrase idioms? You watch one video about academic writing tutorial, it says no idioms. As I said, high level idioms. High level idioms. Make sure that they fit they fit into the situation that you're writing about. Because if you just use the the more common ones, then it's not gonna work. Pakita ko nga sa inyo. Okay, there's that. Here's the grading system again, just to point it out, because you're asking so much about idioms. Yeah, in general, most teachers tell students not to use idioms because the ones that are too simple, and then you focus too much on the idioms, you forget about the whole essay. But it says here, look, skillfully uses uncommon lexical items, although there might be inaccuracies in word choice and collocation. Guys, to get band 8, okay, you need to skillfully use uncommon lexical items. To get band 7, you need to uh, use less common lexical items. And what are these? Idioms are part of that. Okay. However, most people are not, you know, uh, masakit sabihin, but are not capable of doing this one. That's why most teachers will just tell you to avoid them. And I think that's a good piece of advice because you're not aiming for a 9. Okay. So let's go back to writing. There you go. They say that destiny or good fortune, okay, has sorry, is not a is not a factor for them. It's not a factor. There you go. Okay na ba to? No, because you need to state your opinion. Okay, because the grading system says you need to present a clear position throughout the response. Okay, so you need to give your own. Okay, napansin nyo ba? Sabi ko dito, men and women. I didn't say me or I. I also said they. I didn't say me or I. So it's other people. As I see it, okay, uh, mhm, as I see it, okay, duck is still important and advantageous to have, okay, if a person wants wants to wants to achieve and prosper. There you go. Achieve and prosper. There. All right. So now this is a complete introduction. So I have 3 sentences. My word count is 53. It's a bit long. Okay. Pero pwede na. So that's 353. So I've stated the topic there, first 2 sentences, and then I've stated my opinion here. So pwede na. Please state your opinion directly. Okay. So I didn't use any questions here. I didn't use any quotations. I didn't use any background statements. It's just direct to the point. Okay. So this is level 1 intro. However, we can still make this better. So I'm just gonna copy that one. Okay. So pinaraphrase natin, di ba? Yan. The other way to paraphrase this, instead of just replacing the words, is maybe you can play around with the structure. Okay, look at what I'm gonna do. Please observe. Okay, look. So what did I do? I interchanged them, and then I'm gonna modify it a bit. Okay, so many successful people say that destiny or good fortune was not a factor, okay, in their achievements. Factor in their achievements. That was men and women. They believe that they they reach their status. Why? Status in life because hindi na natin to. Because they were willing to persevere and give all of their effort. You can actually say work hard now because you've already proven your range. Dami mo nang na-paraphrase. Okay? And then don't forget your opinion. Ano ba, as I see it, I believe, ah, hmm, I believe that this statement is not totally accurate and that some form of luck is still needed. There you go. So this would be a better paraphrase than the first one. Why? In the first version, we only changed some of the words. Okay. In the second version, we changed the vocabulary and then we also played around with the structure. Okay. Pinagbaligtad ko yung dalawang statements. So this is also possible. Okay. Of course, a third way to do it would be to just write your own introduction, which is the most difficult part. Sorry, the most difficult version. But it is possible. Take some practice, take some reading. Okay. Here's an example. When it comes to So look here, no, I'm still gonna use success, but I'm also gonna paraphrase it at the same time by just adding some words. By when it comes to success in in the workplace, or instead of success in the workplace. Because sometimes you just cannot avoid using some words. So what do you do? Paraphrase them by adding or subtracting some words. Okay, in the workplace and in life. Okay, when it comes to success in the workplace, like some people say, okay, some individuals believe that working, let's take a look at the original. Ano bang ginamit doon? Hard work. Okay, is that working hard? Okay, uh, is the most critical element. While some say that luck is the thing, that luck is the main determiner. Okay, there you go. Workplace and in life, blah, blah, blah. So, is this already complete? No, because it still doesn't have my opinion. As I see it, okay, both are needed, okay, but as I see it, both are needed. Okay, ganito lang. As I see it, hard work is foundational, but to reach the top, then lady, do you know Lady Luck? Lady Luck has to smile on the individual. There you go. So for those asking about idioms, Lady Luck is an idiom. Okay. So it's idiomatic speech, but it's perfect for this topic. So if you can choose the proper idioms, the best ones, okay, for the topic, then go ahead and do them. However, most of you will find it hard. Okay, so just be careful about it. Make sure that you're using the proper idioms. So this is 2 sentences and 51 words. Still a good number. Question so far? Question so far? Wala naman? Okay. Let me write my body paragraph. So paragraph 2, paragraph 3, paragraph 4, and then my conclusion. I'm probably going to write 2 conclusions. Okay. There you go. Now I'm going to go back to my outline because I tend to forget. This is why it's important to write down your ideas on paper because you will forget because you are exerting so much effort, okay, in writing your essay. So I can erase this now. There you go. So that we can fit more on the page. Let's go back. Idea, my first argument. There are hard workers who never succeed. Okay. So most people would use first of all, or to begin with, or initially, first of all, you can also just remove them. Okay. So it's up to you. Sige, let me use something more generic. Okay. To begin with, okay, there are so many hard workers, okay, in this world. Okay. But few of them rise to the top. You agree? Yeah, maybe you had parents who were employees for their whole lives and then, they retired mid-level, they didn't really reach their dreams. It happens. Ganyan talaga. Okay. So to begin with, there are so many hard workers in this world, but few of them rise to the top. It is not uncommon, okay, to hear about people who graduated from good schools, okay, uh, never took a day off. Yeah, mga Amerikano, ganito eh. Never took a day off from work. Okay, and always worked overtime. Okay, but they were passed by their younger and more connected colleagues. Okay, common story, right? You've seen this in movies, yeah. So to begin with, so many hard workers. What else can we say here? They never succeed. um, they work all their lives, but they never, okay, became high level managers or financially well off, imbis na rich o kaya wealthy, because they just, okay, didn't, bawal lang didn't, no? Guys, you cannot do this, ah. Don't write didn't. It should be did not have the proper skills at the proper time, or because they were simply unlucky. So I'm not discussing a lot of ideas in my body paragraph. It's just one idea. Work on elaborating it because this is what they're looking for. You need a central topic. Okay? Because I see people, parang ano eh, it's random eh. They just write what comes into their minds. So, they get low scores for both task achievement and then coherence and cohesion. Make sure that you know the topic for each paragraph. Okay. So how many did I write here? That's 3 sentences. It's actually enough for a 5 paragraph pattern. And that's 89 words. Okay. That's a good number. Okay. Because you can get away with 70 lang. If you have 5 paragraphs, it can be uh, 40, 70, 70, 70, 20. That should be enough. Okay. So that's my paragraph 2. Ilan to? 3 sentences dash 89 words. Next. My third paragraph. There are people who are successful even if they do not deserve it. This one's easy. So you start with on the other hand because it's the opposite. You can also use however, meanwhile, in the meanwhile, however, my favorite is on the other hand. Why? Because it's easy to use. Secondly, it's 4 words. One, two, three, four. On the other hand. So I won't have a problem with the word count because if you have these little tricks with you. So on the other hand, there are some. Okay. Okay. Let me mute. Let's mute everyone. There you go. On the other hand, there are some. Okay. There are some who reach. Okay. What? There are some who earn a lot of money, or uh, become very famous, even though even though they seem to be lazy or undeserving. Okay, so that's the topic of my third paragraph. Okay, they become successful because our definition of success is the usual definition: money, fame, okay, popularity. Ang argument ko dito, they're lucky because of their connections, of their gender, race, because they're already popular. Okay. And then I'm going to mention Donald Trump. I hope nobody gets offended. If you don't want me to use Trump, or you want me to use another example, please tell me in the chat and I will oblige you. No problem. I understand. Okay. I don't want to offend anyone. So let's go there. To be lazy or undeserving. Okay. Everyone has a story of a coworker who got promoted within a few months. Okay, just because what? Okay, let's not be too negative. Just because they had the right degree, okay, or they because they had the right degree, they came, they were familiar with new technology. Oh yeah, nowadays this happens a lot. Okay, or they were connected to upper management. Okay. In these cases, okay, they they succeeded even if they did not need to what to exert. Imbis na work hard na naman, I can say exert tremendous effort. Okay. A good example of this, a good example, okay, of this are of this is Donald Donald Trump, okay, who is a white, let's not say white, Caucasian, uh, is a former president, okay, is former U.S. President Donald Trump, who is white, and Caucasian, who's male, Caucasian, and a celebrity. Okay, male, Caucasian. Wrong spelling ba yung Caucasian ko? Okay, Caucasian, a billionaire, tama ba? And a celebrity. Okay. Other examples are many YouTubers and who else can we give here? YouTubers and vloggers. There, YouTubers. I think this is a bit long already. So one, two, three, four. This is already 5 sentences and 102. So 5-102. So before I proceed to paragraph 4, I'm going to count now. Okay, let's do some math. 102 plus 89, that would be 2,400,000. Okay, just kidding. So how many is that? 191. Okay, and then let's choose the shortest introduction. 50. Okay, 191 plus 50. Very good. That's already 241. So you know what? It might be a waste of time if I still write a fourth paragraph, because I might be writing 300 and I'll be committing more mistakes. I might go off topic. There might be more grammar errors. So instead of writing paragraph 4, wag na lang. Because I don't need it. I only need 9 more words and I already have 250. Tama? Okay, so write your conclusion. Yay. See? So paragraph 4 is usually just a backup. Okay, if you're not able to write enough words, okay, if you've only written like 200 words when you reach paragraph 3, then maybe you can write another body paragraph. Pero kung malapit na, just finish it. Okay, 300 words is not worth it. In fact, my lowest score in writing was 7.5, and this was when I wrote uh 250 for task 1 and I wrote 400 words for task 2. That was my lowest. Okay, my highest writing score was when I just wrote 160 for task 1 and then I think around 275 more or less for task 2. That's when I got my 9. Okay. But when I wrote 400, I got 7.5. So I don't suggest it. So please write your conclusion. Most people write in conclusion, okay, or to conclude. Medyo gasgas. I don't like seeing those. Oh, pinnacle of success. Yes. Pwede. In fact, I'm gonna use that one. Thank you for the suggestion. Okay. So you can use other words like thus, therefore, hence, in the end, at the end of the at the end of the day, clearly. Okay. Thus, what else? To conclude, in conclusion, they're a bit overused. You can say in closing. Okay. In closing, okay. Hard work, maybe. Okay. One of the requirements. Okay. In closing, hard work may be one of the requirements. Okay. Okay. To become uh, an achiever. Let's just use success, guys. This is already your conclusion. By this time, if you did your job properly, you won't need to prove your range when it comes to vocabulary. So you can just copy what's written in the text. Okay. Maybe one of requirements to become a success. Okay. But some extra luck is needed if an individual is to reach the pinnacle. I wouldn't say pinnacle of success anymore because I already mentioned success in the first part of the sentence. And yes, it's just one sentence. Okay. So this is one sentence, 28 words. I only needed 9. So 128. All right. Um, will this essay get band score 9? If I weren't speaking with you, if I were doing it on my own, I might get this to a 9. This probably what? 8.5. Pwede na ba yun sa inyo? Okay. If I'm unlucky, this will be an 8, but it's probably an 8.5, but I don't want to be, that kind of person. I don't want to be boastful. Okay. So I'm just gonna say 8 to 8.5. Is it a 9? Not yet. It needs some fine tuning to become a 9. Right? It's a good thing that's not my target for tonight. Okay. Oh, time check. What time is it? Sorry. 10:54. All right. So let's finish this one. How about using in summary in summary to summarize, okay, to recapitulate. Guys, I don't suggest using that. Why? If I use to summarize, in summary, to recap, then you have to do it. Okay. And sometimes it's very difficult to do. You, when you make a promise, you need to fulfill it. Okay. So if you say in summary and you don't write a summary, then it will be, it will be taken against you. You'll get a lower score. This is why I prefer using safer words, more general words like in closing to close. Okay. Because summarizing is, it can be tricky, it can be difficult. Okay. So in the end, okay, there are many, many ways, many factors, many factors to uh, success, but without some form of good good fortune, okay, or luck, but without some form of good fortune, then the way will become very difficult. Okay. And in fact, you don't need to count if you're confident that you've written more than 9 words. So this is 23. So one sentence, 23. Guys, please don't write long conclusions, one, maybe two sentences at most, because, and please don't discuss anything new in your conclusion because you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to discuss ideas in the body, not in the conclusion. Right? All in all, Gail, all in all is not very formal. I made that mistake before in one of my essays. I use all in all. You can say overall if you want, but all in all, it's less formal. To sum up to what have been stated, wrong grammar for this one, Kath. So I wouldn't use it. In some, no. No, 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 no. Definitely no. Never say in some. In summary, pwede pa. Again, in summary is difficult to do. So I'm just gonna give you a copy of this. I'm gonna submit it to uh, your admins so they can post it. Okay, or maybe I can also show you some other samples of previous essays I've written. Okay, so let me close the session. All right. Oops. So let me just finish my PowerPoint. All right. Here we go. Oh, what's happening with my mouse? So thank you for attending this session. I wish we had more time so we could have worked on more than one essay. Okay, but I think we can do that in the future. No more questions. Okay, so magpo-promote ako ng konti. I hope it's okay. All right. So why choose us? Because you're trying to get higher scores, and a self-review is okay for low levels, but not for the higher levels. Yes, you can watch all the YouTube videos and the webinars that you want, but in the end, you have to present your work to a qualified teacher, a person who knows what they're doing, so that you can improve. Okay, just because you watch Michael Jordan on YouTube doesn't mean you can do what he's doing. Just because you watch a good singer, okay, live or in concert or on the internet, doesn't mean you'll be able to sing like that without doing it yourself, right? So get a good teacher. A self-review isn't enough for higher levels. Our classes focus mainly on one-on-one so that we can just focus on your issues, your questions, your problems. Guys, we are small. We don't implement a factory approach. Okay. And we value each and every one of our students because, again, we cannot afford what to frustrate people. We cannot afford to get bad reviews kasi po we're just a small company. Each student is important. Okay, if you go to the bigger companies, you complain, then you're not important to them. You're just one of the thousands of students that they have, right? Also, we provide daily guidance for our students. You can access all the drills that you want on our website. Just log in. You can reach the managers at any time. Hindi kayo snabit ng mga yan. They'll answer you within a few hours. Okay, and we don't offer you shortcuts or cheats. Okay, because they just don't work. Okay, somebody offers you, give me 50,000, papasa ka ng Ielts mo, you run away. Okay, you're never gonna see your money again. Be careful. Now, thank you for attending. So we have a discount for those people who finish this session. If you join us, Okay, in our next batch, if you enroll until July 11, you can ask for an additional discount in our online IELTS course. The teachers will be me and Sir Barry. Okay, excellent teachers. If you want to just ask for materials, we have a promo on our books. I've actually written uh, 3 books, Task 1, Task 2, and Task 3 from previous actual exam questions. So I wrote them step by step with guidance. Okay, with vocabulary, I highlighted what the cohesive device is. I underlined the high level vocab, and there's a sample essay for each one of those 40 plus topics, actual IELTS questions. And this is our Facebook page. If you have questions, you're curious about enrollment, our programs, please send us a message. Okay, or you can call our number there. All right. So thank you for attending this. My next class, I think, is in 2 weeks. I'll be discussing my favorite subject, writing task 1. That's my favorite.
Nice.
Paborito ko
All
yan.
right. We're looking forward with that, Sir DJ.
Mm.
So, excuse me. So, Sir DJ, someone asked
Mm.
if they're going to enroll to your classes po ba, personal po talaga kayo yung magtuturo?
Yeah, because you can choose your teachers. Okay,
Ah,
we have
okay.
more than 2 teachers, of course. But if you want Sir Me or Sir Barry, okay, just click on the list of teachers. Don't worry, we only have a few. We have like 5 or less. Okay, because sorry, no, we're very demanding when it comes to hiring. Okay, so you can choose the teachers. You can choose the schedules as early as 7 a.m., as late as 11 in the evening. And if you're abroad, you want to study at 3 in the morning, you just tell the manager we will make someone available for you.
Alright. So, talagang, I think, guys, ayan, there's no reason for you not to
Mm.
study and there's no reason for you not to enroll. Kasi nga,
One
they
more
are
thing.
making time for you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one more thing. We're not doing online programs just because of the pandemic. No, I want to make that very clear because
Oh.
most review centers, they did the online classes because they were forced to. We started doing this in 2012. So even way
Oh.
before the pandemic, nag-online na kami. That's why we know all of these tools. So don't worry. This is not just a secondary option dahil lang walang face-to-face. No, this is actually one of our main products. You can be assured of that.
Okay. So, I think everything that you were asking, guys, were already answered. So, Sir DJ, so we are looking forward for you on your next topic, your favorite topic, which is IELTS writing task 1. And we're looking forward to those graphs and procedures.
The
Headache.
headaches.
Headaches. All right. Sir Jeff, any add-ons
Yeah.
before we leave?
Good. Mag-hi lang ako. I would just like to say hi to our viewers on Facebook and Zoom. What I just realized, kung before kasi pinabayaan ko yung writing eh. Ngayon pala, madami kasi ako natutunan sa lecture. Pwede
Oh,
ko
thank
palang
you.
ma-achieve pa yun. So if only way
Achievable.
back before.
Yeah,
Hindi naman, pero I think possible.
oh, it
Naman.
is.
It's
To be
achievable.
honest, some
Why
people,
not?
there are people who will never get 9 even if they study for years, they will never get 9. Ganun talaga eh. It's the highest level. However, if you're just targeting 7 or 7.5, achievable lang yan. Just get to know your mistakes. How do you do that? Get a teacher who knows what they're doing. Yan lang naman yan eh. You don't want a teacher who only got 6.5 in their writing tapos tinuturuan nila kayo. You want somebody who got at least an 8, maybe an
Higher band.
8.5, di ba? Oo naman.
Mm-mm.
Quality. It's about
Ooh.
quality. So guys, sa lahat ng members, especially kung target nyo is UK or higher score ng writing, so better mag-invest din kayo kasi para sa future nyo rin naman to.
Truly. All
All right.
right. So
Thank you very
I think
much.
that's
So
it.
much, Sir
So thank
DJ.
you, Sir Lee J. So on Tuesday we will be with Sir Barry. So thank you everyone and good
See you
night. By
next
the
week,
way, Sir
guys.
Marvin. Okay.
Yes.
Any add-ons before we
Sure.
leave? I saw you turned on your cam. So any add-ons?
No, it's okay. That's
Okay.
all. See you. And
Okay.
thank you, Sir
So
DJ, for
We will
your
thank
resume
you.
our unlimited speaking practice now after
All
this.
right.
yes,
Okay.
after this one.
Thank you
God bless
everyone.
Okay.
everyone.
Thank you, Sir
Bye.
Lee J and everyone.
Thank you.